Hello everyone. Myself Sanat Kumar Swai, a faculty at Vedang Institute of Technology, and today we'll be discussing about the relationship between behavior and attitude in an organizational setting. In the previous classes, we have discussed about the various aspects of attitude, what is the right attitude, and how the right attitude affects the organizational settings within an organization. So today we'll be looking at the relationship between the behavior and a good attitude, a right attitude within an organization, and how it affects the organizational setting. Okay, so we'll be going through few slides today, and we'll see how the right attitude affects the behavior, and what are the relationship between behavior and attitude in an organization. Okay, yeah. So if we go to the introduction, what is the relationship between a behavior and an attitude? Okay. So you see, the behavior and an attitude within an organization it's a very complex, and it is very interconnected. For example, how it is interconnected? When the right behavior can affect your attitude, and your right attitude can affect your behavior, the way you behave, the way the employees behave. So it is interconnected. Okay. So if we recall, what do you mean by attitude, and how your attitude changes? What are the reasons for your change in attitude? Whether that's a positive attitude, that's a negative attitude. Okay. So why do attitude changes in an employee's uh, when an employee is working in an organizational setting? Okay. So it refers to a person's feeling. Okay. How do you feel? Okay. What do you mean by feeling? Feeling in the sense, for example, um, in a layman term, if you see XYZ, a person, you are not feeling well. There's something going on inside your head. There's something going on inside your body. Okay. Maybe it's a physically, or that may be physical, that may be mental, that may be emotional. Okay. So that may change your attitude. Okay. A person who is disturbed. Okay. When that person is going to work in an organizational setting, definitely that feeling, the person's feeling, okay, that is going to change his or her attitude. Now, beliefs. What do you believe? Um, every human being has certain beliefs, and they work according to their belief system. Okay. Well, it may or may not be, your beliefs may not be true, but at some point of time, you see that your belief system is going to affect your attitude, your predisposition towards certain things. Okay. The way you look at other things, the way you look at people is definitely going to change your attitude towards the your attitude, and subsequently your behavior towards the other people. Okay. Well, behavior represents the action. That's your what is the attitude? Attitude means the way you feel, the way you believe. Okay. Let's say you work in a particular organization, and you have certain feelings and you have certain beliefs towards that organization. Yes, this particular organization is going to work in this particular way, and you will be looking at the things in a different way, in this particular way. Okay. That may be true to some extent, and that may not be true to some extent. When you actually start to work, like for example, students, when I see the students, they get placed in MNCs while they graduate. They have a lot of dispositions, they have a lot of beliefs system, their belief system, they have a different types of feeling. Okay, that we are going to work in this particular organization, we are going to work in these MNCs, multinational organizations, and this will be our you know beliefs. Like they tend to believe certain things which may or may not be true, but actually when they start to work in that particular organization, that may or may not be met up to their expectation. They have got a lot of expectations, and that expectations may not be accurate, or that may not be up to the mark. So that at that very point of time, their behavior or their attitude changes. Okay, their attitude is gets changed. Okay. So the behavior starts in a particular way, in a different way. Okay. So the behavior represents the actions. Okay. So as because um, their attitude has changed, their expectations has not been met, so the behavior changes, and subsequently that actions or conduct which has been demonstrated by the particular individual may be termed as the behavior of that particular individual. Okay. So in an organizational context, if we see, if we look at the organizational context, these two elements, the behavior elements and the attitude elements, they influence each other. It's not independent. Okay, it is interrelated. Okay, and they when working in a workplace environment, okay, that impacts the entire workplace environments, its cultural values, its subsequently the performance, the way the workers work in a particular organization. So that definitely impact the overall environment. Okay, so we need to look at the relationship. What is the relationship, and how it is interrelated uh, between each other, and what are the key points regarding their relationship. So we are going to look at the relationship in the upcoming slides. Okay. So if you go to the next slide, you see attitude shapes the behavior. Okay. As we have already discussed, what is attitude and what is behavior. So how the attitude is going to shape the behavior of an individual. Okay. You see, everybody has got an attitude. It will be very wrong to say that we do not have an attitude. Well, attitude sometimes people use in a negative term, but so and so has got a lot of attitude. Well, attitude may be positive, attitude may be negative. What kind of attitude you have, that is important while you're working in a particular organization. So let's say if a person has got a positive attitude. Now, what is a positive attitude? You see, in a positive attitude, in the sense, people um, while working in an organization, if you look at the organizational setting, you see that there are a lot of problems. Okay. In the day-to-day activities, you will see that you will have to face a lot of challenges. There will be a lot of struggles. There will be a lot of issues that might come to you. And it is your attitude, okay, which is going to solve that particular problem, or that may aggravate the problem. It all depends on your attitude. Let's say, for example, a person has got stuck with an issue or with a problem. Just blabbering about the problem is not going to solve the problem. We have to actually see, we have to actually find out what are the reasons for that problem, and that who's going to help you out. I'll give you an example. Okay. Example of that, workers who were got stuck in the recently they got stuck in the tunnel while they were in Uttarakhand. Well, you must be aware of that. It is a very recent news. Okay. And they were stuck in that tunnel for the next 17 days. Can you imagine? You have been stuck in a tunnel for the next 17 days without anything. Okay. Though at a later stage they were being provided with water and food, but imagine no one to contact to. Okay. You have been cut off from the outside world for the next 17 days. So it's hats off to those workers who showed a great attitude, a positive attitude. So this, I would say that this is one of the best example of a positive attitude. They had a positive attitude that yes, we are going to get over with this problem. Somebody will come to our rescue. We'll be rescued today or tomorrow. There's no particular time frame that we are going to be rescued today or we are going to rescue tomorrow. But some or the other way, they had a positive attitude. They had a lot of enthusiasm. They were very proactive in their thought process. Okay. So, if a person is working in an organization setting, and if he or she is a positive attitude person, then you see that they have a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of commitment towards their tasks, and they're very proactive. They work very proactively, and that's going to solve their problems in very easily. Okay, because they have a positive attitude, and that positive attitude is going to help them out in any kind of situation. Okay. On a subsequently, in a negative attitude, if you see, person who has got a negative attitude, there might be resentment, there might be disengagement. Okay. They might resist. You see, if you want to check a positive attitude person and a negative attitude person, you go simply and sit in with any fellow, and you ask him a few questions, and you will see that if that person is going to show some resistance, कुछ नहीं हो सकता, nothing can happen. Okay, there's nothing. You will see people, they say इस देश का कुछ नहीं हो सकता, इंडिया इंडिया में रहने से कुछ नहीं हो सकता, इंडिया का कुछ नहीं हो सकता, ये तो ऐसा ही है. So you see these kind of mentality. Okay. But a positive person, they'll say, no, no, India is growing. Okay, there are a lot of problems. India का बहुत कुछ problems हैं. There are a lot of problems in the country, but still, it is one of the fastest growing economy in the world. Though we are the um, largest populated country on earth, we have loads of problems. But still, positive attitude person will show his or her positive attitude, and he'll say, no, that's okay. We are a growing nation. Okay. So you see, your attitude shapes your behavior. The way you behave, and your attitude is going to change the way your thought pattern, the way you think, the way you behave, and subsequently the way you act. So attitude definitely shapes the behavior. Okay, your good attitude is gonna be your good behavior. Your positive attitude gonna be a positive behavior. Okay, and if you are showing your negative attitude, then that is going to be your negative behavior towards anything, towards your workplace, towards your any kind of situation you take. Okay, so attitude shapes behavior. Now for the next slide, behavior influences attitude, is vice versa, as we have already discussed, that though attitude, your good attitude influences your behavior, similarly behavior also influences your attitude. Okay, what kind of behavior you have. Okay, so behavior shapes the attitude. Okay, so your continuous positive or negative experiences, like if you are facing various kinds of I've seen people, the youngsters, while they go they work in the IT industry, and they have a lot of expectations working for the IT industries, and so we are going to work in Bangalore or Hyderabad. Okay, or in the mega cities. Okay, where IT hubs basically. So there were a lot of expectations. Okay, and when actually they land over there and they start working in an IT company, then their expectations vanishes away. Okay, and sometimes they they have got a resentment of that. As because their expectation doesn't could not be met. Okay, then their behavior changes. their behavior changes, and subsequently their attitude changes. Though before going to their workplace, they had a very good positive attitude, they have had a positive behavior, okay. But actually, when they start working, their behavior changes, and subsequently, if you see particular person few years later, you will see that, oh, this person wasn't the way he is behaving. This person isn't the way he is showing his attitude. That may be a positive attitude, that may be a negative attitude. We are not going to discuss about that, but still, your behavior is going to influence your attitude in a multiple way. That may be positive, that may be negative. So, for example, an employee who receives his recognition and positive feedback. Let's say there are two kinds of employees, and one employee, he or she is receiving a positive remarks for his or her hard work and recognition. Then what kind of attitude he or she is going to show? Definitely a positive attitude, because he has got a recognition for his hard work. But for example, if a person, he doesn't get recognition, he doesn't get a positive feedback for his hard work, and every now and then he gets a negative feedback or a de-recognition, not a proper recognition for his hard work, then what will happen? He or she is going to show a negative attitude. Okay, that will change his attitude. Similarly, negative experiences such as lack of or support, if you are facing lack of support, okay, or you are facing unfair treatment, many staffs, many employees, they sometimes they face unfair treatment, okay, at his or her workplace. So that can also lead to a negative, and subsequently that is going to change his behavior. Behavior and attitude are vice versa and interrelated, okay. So behavior influences your attitude. Now if we go to the next slide, you will see attitude behavior consistency, okay. Now what do you mean by attitude behavior consistency? Consistency means what? In a consistent way, in a regular way, okay. So if you see the slide, you'll see that there's not always a one-to-one correspondence between attitude and behavior. What do you mean by there's not a one-to-one correspondence? We cannot say that if attitude changes, behavior is going to change in a one-to-one correspondence. That may not be true always. There may be other parameters, there may be other angles to look at. There cannot be a one-to-one correspondence between an attitude and a behavior. Okay. Sometimes people might hold to certain attitude but have behave differently due to various factors. That may be, let's say, social norms. For example, what does it mean? You cannot say that a person who has behaved in a particular way has got a different kind of attitude. Maybe that person has shown his behavior in a different scenario. That may be due to a social norm, that may be due to some kind of situations, constraints, that may be due to various kinds of pressure. There may be any kind of reason. We cannot judge that as because a person has behaved in a particular way, his or her attitude is going to change, or that may be consistent and that may remain consistent for the rest of. Okay. It's nothing like that. People changes, your attitude change, your behavior change, okay, and your behavior can be for many kind of reason. Your attitude can be for many kind of reason, and once that reason changes, that situation changes, you may behave in a normal way, you may have a positive attitude, right? So for example, an employee might have a positive attitude towards teamwork but might struggle in a competitive environment, okay. So if an employee is given is put in a competitive environment, he or she may show a different kind of attitude, okay. He or she may have a positive attitude in a teamwork setting,
But that same employee, if that is been put in a competitive environment, he or she may show a different kind of attitude. So looking at this all angle, we'll see that attitude and behavior doesn't have a consistency. That may, it is not a one-to-one correspondence. That may due to various factors and various reasons. Okay. So the next slide, organizational influence. Okay. Definitely we have a influence, organizational influence, which impact our behavior, which impact our attitude in the workplace. What are the organizational influence which we have? See, every organization has got their own culture. So the culture may play a very important part in influencing our attitude and behavior. The leadership style, okay, uh, the way the higher authority they behave, the leadership behave. Your environmental, the environment where you work, that also plays an important role. Okay, and subsequently various kinds of policies. Okay, what kind of policies your organizations adopt, that also plays a very important role in shaping your um, behavior and attitude. Now, a positive work culture. What do you mean by positive work culture? Um, well, there is no as such parameter to check whether a culture is a positive one, but still, if a culture which encourages, which is very open, okay, which is very open to the open and transparent among the employees and the higher authority, then that is going to be that can be termed as a positive work culture. Okay, so if an organization follows a positive work culture, then definitely that is going to create a harmonious positive attitude among the employees and the organizational um, among the employees and the leadership of the higher authority of that particular organization. So your organizational influence is very important in shaping the behavior and attitude of an employee. Next, feedback loop. Okay, what do you mean by feedback loop? What do you mean by loop? What do you mean by feedback? When you get a feedback that a particular, you have done a very marvelous job, you've done an excellent job. Okay, so some kind of comment, preferably if that is a positive remark, so that can be termed as a feedback. Okay, so well, that can be a negative feedback also, but if we see in a positive way, that's a positive remark or a positive feedback. So so there is a continuous loop, feedback loop between the attitude and behavior. What do you mean by feedback loop? So feedback loop means positive behavior can reinforce positive attitude and vice versa. Means a positive behavior can only reinforce only positive attitude and vice versa. Positive behavior will not going to show negative attitude. Got it. Similarly, positive attitude will show positive behavior. Positive attitude is not going to show you a negative. So that is going to reinforce the positive behavior and positive attitude. Conversely, negative behavior can lead to a deterioration in attitude, creating a cycle that might be difficult to break without intervention. So, if um, an organization has got a negative attitude, okay, so that will happen, or a negative behavior, if an organization is fostering a negative behavior in that particular organization, then there's a deterioration in attitude, and it is very difficult to break that attitude, and without proper intervention, that is very difficult to break that um, circle. Okay. If that is a circle, then that is very difficult to break that circle, and there will be a severe deterioration in the attitude and behavior. Okay. So this is known as feedback loop. Next, management strategies. Okay. So strategies are very important. Okay. What do you mean by strategies? The strategies you make to prepare some decisions. If you are going to make some decisions, so definitely you need to have certain strategies. You have to make strategic decisions. Okay. So the better the strategies, the management strategies, then definitely that is going to foster a positive attitude and a positive behavior in an organization. Okay. So effective management is going to involve the understanding with the relationship of the behavior and the attitude. What kind of relationship a behavior and attitude has. So effective management involves the understanding. So secondly, strategies. Okay. What kind of strategies? Strategies such as employee engagement initiatives, providing opportunities for skill development, or if you're going to provide various kinds of recognitions and skills, rewards. Okay. So a positive strategies. Okay. If we are fostering a positive strategy in the work environment, then that is definitely going to impact the attitude and behavior within an organization. Okay. So that will definitely be in a positive way. Okay. So the management strategies also plays a very important role in fostering the right attitude and the right behavior in an organization. Okay. Next. So with this, we have come to the conclusion of the relationship between behavior and attitude. Okay. So if we summarize it, if we conclude it, so what do we understand? So understanding the interplay between attitude and behavior is crucial for leaders and organizations. Okay, which seeks to create a positive and productive workplace. So if we intend to create a positive and productive workplace, we need to understand the interplay between the attitude and behavior, which is very important for the and important and crucial for the leaders of an organization to seek a harmonious workplace. Okay, so that is subsequently going to affect the productivity of that organization. So if we are going to address both the aspects, okay, then we have to create and foster a conducive environment. Proper conducive environment has to be created so that the organizations can align with the right attitude and the behavior, okay, so that the productivity of and the aims and objectives of that particular organization can be achieved. So I believe we have completed, we have discussed all the aspects of the relationship between behavior and attitude. Um, Hopefully, I believe yeah, everybody can understand all the aspect. But in case students, if you have any doubt related to this particular topic, you can definitely put your remarks. You can write your remarks and questions on the comment, and we'll try to um, uh, check it, and we'll try to um, in the next classes we'll try to discuss about the same. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time. Thanks.